Hey everyone, welcome back to another storytelling session. Today, we've got a real family drama to unravel, as someone shared the tale of their entitled sister-in-law stealing their baby name and the unexpected fallout that followed. Strap in and get ready to dive into this emotional roller coaster of a story. My wife and I had nearly given up trying to conceive when it suddenly happened, and we were ecstatic. After we found out we were having a boy, we started looking into names. I ended up suggesting the name of my Scottish grandfather, and my wife loved it, so that's the name we settled on. But we made the mistake of posting about it on social media. Well, no surprise to the stereotype in this mess, my Seal was pregnant too, and was months further along than my wife, and also having a boy. She decided to claim my grandfather's name for her own son, and not just the first name, but the middle name too. We called her pissed over what she was doing, and she smugly told us there's nothing we can do about it, which she was sorta right. There was nothing we could do about it legally, as it's still not a crime to steal planned baby names. We realized that drama was exactly what my Sil wanted. And she thought that by taking the name for herself, we'd not be able to use it. I laughed and told her that while what she did was dirty and underhanded, we would keep our chosen name. And she could just deal with it, whether she decides to go through with copying us or not. Well, my Sil's baby daddy called me and said I was an unreasonable dick for still wanting to use the name after Sil claimed it. I said she claimed nothing, and since we couldn't own the name, then neither could they. Before he ended the call, he threatened me by saying I'd be sorry if we didn't change the name. Then he hung up before I could respond. Months later, Sil has a healthy baby boy and names him my grandfather's name. We did not show up for the birth, both because of the pandemic and because we simply didn't care to be there. Sil called us wanting congratulations, but we told her we simply didn't care, and that if she was still insisting we change our baby's name, then she'd be in for some big disappointment, because we were not. Sil demanded I put my wife on the phone, but it was already on speaker and my wife spoke up and said she agrees with me entirely. We weren't changing the name. Seal hung up on us, but soon started sending emails with text walls of names, even suggesting similar ones. I responded back that the name was from my grandfather, and that's why we were not changing it. She shut up, and we didn't hear from her again till after our own son was born. 2 months later, we were blessed with our son. He came out perfect, and we named him just as we'd intended. Well, no surprise, my Seal called us a few days after the birth to scream in our ears that we copied her son's name. I pointed out she was the real copycat, since she had no familial ties to the name, and we did, and anyone who looks at our family trees could see that. Then my wife spoke and said, after the attempted theft of her grandmother's jewelry, she no longer considered Seal her sister, and would have nothing to do with her nephew either. For months, we were bombarded with messages and emails from my wife's side of the family. Half were on our side after finding out the whole story. The other half were not. And Seal's baby daddy, true to his word, showed up at my door to make me sorry. I'm not sure what his plan was, but I pretty much towered over him. I'm 6'1" and well built from regular exercise and 3 trips to the gym a week. He, on the other hand, was very skinny and about 5'6" with a baby face that was badly hidden by a slim beard. I told him my house has cameras, and to get off my property and never come back. He just yelled a few obscenities at me and drove off in his beat-up old car. Sil and mother-in-law called us from a different number to yell at me for making Sil's baby daddy feel emasculated. I didn't even threaten the man, just told him to leave and not come back. And if he didn't want to feel emasculated, then he shouldn't have come knocking. Then they tried to bring up the issue of the baby name again, and demanded we change our son's name as, he's so young, so there's still plenty of time to do it. We held our ground and told them that they were bonkers to still think they were in the right, after they copied our choice of name, just to try and get one over on us. I said Seal didn't even name her son out of love, but out of spite, just to try and stick it to my wife for no good reason. Then my wife called them both out on the way she was treated growing up. How entitled Sil and mother-in-law have always been, and how she was glad to leave them far behind, and she wants nothing from them, and they won't have anything from us. That left Seal sobbing, and mother-in-law called me a royal bastard before hanging up the phone. That was NC again for a little while, till Siel called us again sometime later to bitterly tell us we'd won. She and her baby daddy got in a huge fight, and he left. He was apparently very sore that Siel didn't let him even give their son a middle name from his family. And he said he was sick of the bullshit and wanted his son named after him, and not some guy he wasn't even related to. Siel finally caved, and they got the boy's birth certificate reissued with a completely new name, which cost Siel around $500, or so she claims. Siel then demanded we at least compensate her for the name change, plus another $100 for the emotional damage, as now she's going to have to get used to calling her son by a different name. We laughed and said this would have never happened if she hadn't stolen our baby name to begin with, and we didn't owe her anything. Since then, we've been NC with Siel and Amiel. But my father-in-law, who's a very nice man and divorced from mother-in-law for obvious reasons, would come by often and loves his grandson. From what he and other relatives told us, the situation between Siel and her baby daddy was pretty tumultuous. But we don't care. Not our monkeys, not our circus. If you've enjoyed the roller coaster of family drama in today's story, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until the next story, take care of yourselves, and remember, not all family feuds end with a simple sorry.